Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album. Dad, I know what I just did. Shimmy, shimmy, and rock on gold dust woman. Beast! It seems I have almost lost my voice. Must be because we are on day 4 of Alex's 40th birthday bash. And I feel like I have been talking for 4 days straight, which is not unusual for me since I make 7 videos a day. But I've just been like, we've been talking so much down here. We've been having such a blast and we've had such a great time. And it is the last day that our friends and family are down here for Alex's birthday. They all go home tomorrow. We are staying down here for a little bit longer, just to kind of hang out, the two of us, but it is pouring down rain in Mexico today. It was supposed to pour the entire time that we were here. Yesterday it was beautiful. We had a really, really good day yesterday. I mean, it was cloudy a little bit, then it would be sunny. It rained for like 10 minutes yesterday, but that was it. It was beautiful most of the day. We hung out by the pool. We had such a good time. Yeah, and the other night for Alex's 40th birthday, we went into Tulum and we went to I can't remember what the nightclub was called. It was really, really cool though. It was like you walk down this long path, that was like all dark and there was always like trees, like windy, you know, knotted trees. And, then you came out and there was like this huge white tent and it was on the ocean and it was very, very cool. And it was like boom, boom. It's like house DJ playing. It was so cool. We had such a great time. They had all these like really cool statues all like around the place of like big hands. And so you could like, you know, take pictures with these big hands. They were like 10 feet tall. It was very, very cool. Tulum is so cool. I mean, I've been to Tulum before. But this little area of Tulum that we were at that had these different clubs that were on the beach, it was very, very cool. It was like this small side street. Our friends, though, told us that drinks were like $40 at this club, and my Diet Coke was $20. This one friend of ours, he was like, I was like trying not to drink that much caffeine. I think one thing that people don't realize, okay, here is the plight of being in recovery, right? So when you do go out with people, and unless you drink water, if you're drinking like, I always drink Diet Coke or water, every once in a while, like at a music festival or something, I will drink like an energy drink, like a Red Bull or whatever. But I usually drink like Diet Coke or water, right? And so the thing is that, well, if I'm drinking Diet Coke the whole night, while everybody else is drinking, and then they're tired and ready to go to sleep when they get home, I've been having Diet Cokes for 6 hours. So I am like so caffeinated at that point that I can't go to sleep. And I'm like, let's go to another club, let's do this. And that was me that night. I was like, well, I'm 52, I'm the oldest one here. I was like, well, I'm not 52 yet. I got a couple days left. On the 29th, I'll be 52. I'm like, I'm 52, come on, let's go to another club. Because the club we were at closed at 1, and the one next door closed at 3. So I'm like, let's go next door, let's next door. My husband was like, it's $200 a person to get into this club. I'm like, I don't care, let's go to another club. I want to dance somewhere. We had such a good time. So it's been so much fun down here. We've had such a good time, and they're all just kind of like hanging out right now near this like coffee shop place, and they're like trying to figure out what to do. It looks like it might clear up here. It's still like, it's only like 12:15, so it probably will clear up here in a little bit. It's like the rain seems like it's like slowing down just a little bit, so we'll probably end up at the pool later today. So I thought, I actually, if it was nice all day today, I wasn't planning on filming a video at all. I was like, I'm just gonna sit out with everybody and whatever. But since they're all just kind of hanging out at the coffee shop, I just got out of the shower, just took a shower, and I was like, you know what? I am going to film a little video and do a follow-up of my video that I did the other day of, what do I think about these people? I went in and I looked, and I thought I only had like maybe like 8 more people that people had suggested or something like that, but I literally have like screenshot after screenshot after screenshot. I think I have like 10 more or something like that. So I thought I would get back in here and give you guys my opinions of what I think about these people. I got a couple DMs from people and they were like, I'm really surprised that this is what you thought about this person, or I really thought that you really disliked this person and you were really kind to them and whatever. I think like that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions about my channel, right? And I think it's really driven from people that have strong like for somebody, you know? I don't, and I've talked about this for a long time on my channel, you know, the super fandoms and all that kind of stuff, but like, I really, I have a lot of opinions, okay? And I think, like, back in the day, we used to say this in the drama community, I mean, opinions are like, you know what, we all got one, right? And so I have a lot of opinions about people, but that doesn't mean that when the camera stops, you know, like, I continue to just like be in my head, like, oh my God, I can't see this person and talk about him and try to take him down. I stop the camera, and until I pick up the camera to make another video, I really don't think about a lot of these people. Unless they're pop culture figures that I'm like reading articles about, or like a housewife, because we keep up with the housewives. I, you know, follow all the housewife Instagrams, like, you know, Queens of Bravo, Bravo Daily Dish, and all that kind of stuff. So I keep up with a lot of that stuff. But other than that, like the influencer space, like, you know, the Shane Dawsons, the Trisha Paytases, the Jeffree Stars, like, I don't keep up with their every move. Unless I'm making a video, like, I really don't know what's going on. And then sometimes I'll go back and I'll, like, look at, like, the last, like, let's say, you know, 6 TikToks they put out, or the last 6 videos, or something like that, and I'll just kind of, like, watch them. Unless somebody specifically will say, like, Trisha said this in her podcast, then I'll go back and I will watch, like, that podcast or that part of the podcast. But usually because in Trisha's podcast, she'll sometimes, like, say something at the 3-minute mark, and then like at the 11-minute mark, she'll bring it back up again, and then like at the 22-minute mark, she'll say something again. So if I have to watch like one of Trisha's podcasts, which I don't dislike, I like her podcast. I think that podcast was a great move for her. I think for her career going forward, I think with having kids, I think it was a very, very smart move for her. I think Oscar is a great co-host for her. I think they like feed off of each other. You know, I think she needed somebody that wasn't going to match her energy entirely, but also, like, uplift her, but also be able to have this back and forth, you know, like, you know, conversation with her. And he does that. I think that he's a great co-host for her. So her podcast, like, if I have to cover it for a video, I'll watch the whole podcast. So, but other than that, like, no, I don't really keep up with a lot of these people. It's interesting because people ask me about, you know, people that I used to cover a lot back in the day, and I'm like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I really have no idea. Like, Jeffree Star, I couldn't tell you. I think he released something recently. I don't even know. The last thing I think I covered about him was Gypsy Rose Blanchard and him in like a TikTok or something. I mean, since then, I haven't looked up to see what Jeffree Star's doing or anything like that. James Charles, so every day, back in the day, I would get up and I would like look at everybody's, you know, Twitter, their Instagram posts, see if they post a video. I don't ever do that anymore. And in fact, I really rely on you guys for sending me information. The videos that I typically make today are videos where it's not driven from one DM that I would get. It's like if I get 5 or 6 DMs or 10 or 20 DMs about something, then I'm like, okay, enough people are interested in this, then I'll look into it and I'll make a video. That's typically how I choose to make a video. I don't like just go in here, and I think that's the other misconception, right? Is that I'm like looking for stuff. That's never the case, you know? Like I could actually probably, well, I don't want to get off the screenshot because I have it all like queued up right here, but I could actually go into my DMs right now and I could show you how I pick a video. Like if I think I woke up today and I had something like 40 or 60 DMs on my Instagram, right? And so I'll go, and a lot of them are people, y'all are so sweet to send me the videos of the little rescue dogs and rescue squirrels. People are constantly sending me those. The illustrations of the animals that live in the trees. I love all that. That's the majority of my DMs, you know? But people will send me things and then it'll say something like, Sally Joe did such and such, did you see this? And then somebody else will send me Sally Joe's TikTok. And then somebody will say, did you see this comment on Sally Joe's TikTok? And then I'll go watch Sally Joe's TikTok. And then I'll go read through the comments. And then I'll screenshot the comments, right? And that's all because people have sent that to me, which is then translated, I guess, into Peter Monn hates these people. He's trying to take them down and he digs up dirt on them on a daily basis. Trust me, okay? I don't really have that time and energy to do that stuff. And I will tell you right now, I think if anybody knows me, this is why this is such a ludicrous accusation. Well, it's not even really an accusation, but you know, that people think that I do that, is I have never, okay, in 8 years, I've never been this investigator of drama over here, okay? It was actually a joke back in the day. I mean, I don't really cover anything unless somebody sends it to me. I'm not like digging. If it's a story that really interests me, okay, then I will look into it. So if it's like somebody non-disclosing affiliate links, because I'm very passionate about that, because I think that is and a lot of people ask me, why do I take such an issue with it? Because I think it's such an easy way to deceive your audience it's, to me, to be honest with you, it's not even really about like, that they'll get caught and that they'll have to pay fines, or the FTC, you will take them down, or Amazon or YouTube will do something to their platform, because I don't think that will actually probably ever happen. It might happen to one person to send a message or two, but I don't think it's going to happen to a lot of people. I think eventually what will happen is it'll happen to, let's say, 5 or 10 major influencers because the FTC will want to send a message, okay, that you have to stop doing this. When you look at the FTC in the past with like Bitcoin and moving supplements, like nutritional supplements and things like that, they usually pick like 5 or 10 really big companies, and those are the ones that they find and go after, right? I think they'll do the same thing with influencers because they'll want to send the message, like, we're serious about this, right? And I just hope that some of the people that I talk about aren't the ones that get caught up with the FTC because they've been given enough warnings. I've proven that they know about it. Now, those are situations where I would go in and I would like Google search like the FTC, the guidelines, and look it up because I want to educate myself and also educate you guys on it. The reason why I take such a huge issue with it is because, you know, it's like back in the day, things that we would cover where somebody would allegedly lie about something or whatever, right? They would get in a video and they would say something. That was one thing, right? Like where they would, you know, twist the truth or whatever. But to get in a video, all right, where it's expected that you disclose appropriately per the FTC guidelines, right? That is a really, really easy way to deceive your audience and come across as if I care about you so much that I just want to bring the information on these products to you and let you know that I love these products. And if I love these products, then you should love these products. I mean, it's literally the definition of an influencer, right? And if I love these products, then you should love these products and you should go buy these products. But then they don't tell you that they're making money off those products, right? Which I don't think would change anything by these people. You know, I thought long and hard about starting to link products and link affiliate links and doing it appropriately, linking it, you know, disclosing appropriately. Of course, obviously, why wouldn't I, right? And so, you know, for me, it's like, it's such an easy way to deceive your audience. So then what it says is if you know about it and you're still deceiving your audience and it's not even really about the fining and things like that because you don't think that's ever going to happen to you, if you don't really ever think that you're going to get fined by the FTC and you don't ever think you're going to get caught, then what is the point? Then the point is that your ultimate motive is to deceive your audience. And that's the issue that I take with it. You know, from day one over here, I've always been about protecting you guys, the consumer, right? And giving you guys the information and let you, I said very early on, you know, I got started doing this just because I was watching YouTubers and stuff. And so, you know, for me, it was like, I wanted to be, you know, bring you guys because you guys were just out there watching these people. It's interesting to me that people take such issue with it, you know? And I think this is the reason why. And I don't know, like, this whole kind of idea of, like, when we started talking about parasocial relationships and stuff like that was so bizarre to me because there's been a lot of people in this world that I've loved, right? Like, I cannot stop talking about going to the Stevie Nicks concert. I love Stevie Nicks, okay? But if tomorrow Stevie Nicks was like charged like $100 million for tax evasion and all this horrible shit came out about Stevie Nicks, okay? I can tell you tomorrow what I would say to that is, I love Stevie Nicks' music, okay? Her music shaped me into who I am. Going to her concert was one of the best moments in my entire life. I'm so glad that I did that with my husband. He was so kind to, like, you know, arrange that and all that kind of stuff, right? I think that's a really shit move that Stevie Nicks did A, B, and C, right? Like, I'm so confused. I thought she was such a good person. I'm very confused about that. I don't know where we stopped living, like, in the real world, where you can still like somebody but have a very real human response to things that they've done or whatever, right? It's the blindness of, I refuse to see that this person that I'm never gonna meet, that I have never met, that I don't know anything about other than what they've presented online, I'm gonna believe everything that they say. Like, that is baffling to me. Like, that is probably the thing that is the most, people all the time are like, well, what's the biggest surprise to you since you started YouTube? That alone is probably the biggest surprise to me, in all honesty, is how hard people will ride for super fandoms, you know? What I have received, okay, on the back end of people constantly coming for me, right? In really dark ways, honestly, out of their love of people. And it was interesting because the other day, somebody sent me something and it was like the very beginning of where somebody started to dislike me. And they sent me like a video where like somebody was saying that they really liked me, right? Like they loved me. I was like one of their favorite channels. And then it turned and I was like, oh, I get it now, right? Like it was all off this one thing that I said years ago. Like that's how it started, right? Well, I'm not responsible for that, okay? I'm not responsible for somebody's super love of somebody. And I think the reason why people take such issue and they say, I'm not a super, like they have to declare, I'm not a super fan, but I feel like this, is because they are a super fan, right? Like you would only take insult to that word if it, like, I mean, if somebody said to me, you're a super fan of Stevie Nicks, like, I would take no insult to that whatsoever. I am 100% a super fan of Stevie Nicks. 100% a super fan of Stevie Nicks, all right? I love that woman. I would go, if I could tomorrow go on tour and see every concert of Stevie Nicks, okay, I would. I would do anything to get that woman's attention. I love Stevie Nicks, all right? That being said, I'm not going to go so hard for a woman that I am never going to meet in person, okay? She's never going to know my name. You know, to like fight for her. She can fight for herself. I don't need to do that, okay? And if she came out tomorrow and did some horrific shit, I would stand here and be like, damn, I love Stevie. This wasn't who I thought she was. Like, I am really blown away. This kind of makes me reevaluate what I thought about her. I would not be like coming for the people that were calling her out. Like, that's such a bizarre vibe to me. I really, really don't get it, you know? So anyway, let's get into some of these other people and what you guys, some people that you guys were asking me about. I have no clue who these people are. Like, or if I have, like, I just don't really know a lot about them. So, okay, let's get into this. Somebody asked me about Prince Harry. I always get asked about Prince Harry when I do like Q&As. I could care less about Prince Harry. I could care less about any of the royals, if you want to know the truth. I have really no interest in them whatsoever. And it's interesting because my mother was very, very interested in the royal family. And in fact, I can remember my mom's best friend, who was my dad's business partner's wife. So my dad had a boat in Saugatuck, Michigan, and his business partner had a boat. He was a doctor as well. Had a boat in Saugatuck, Michigan. So we would go up there in the summers every weekend. And when Saugatuck, Michigan is now like the Provincetown of the Midwest. Like, Provincetown is like this big gay city, you know, like Mecca. And like Saugatuck is now like the big gay meeting place, cute little Michigan town in the Midwest. And in fact, somebody just the other day was like, DM'd me and was like, I'm in Saugatuck right now and I'm thinking of you because I spent summers here too. It was such a sweet, maybe they left a comment on a video, I don't know. But anyway, so they were saying that to me but anyway, so my dad went back home for like on Sunday and he was like, do you want to stay here, you know, with them? And I was like, yeah. So I stayed with my dad's partner's wife and her 2 kids who were like younger than me. And they had this big speedboat thing. And so we stayed there, and I can remember it was the morning of the royal wedding. And she got up really, really early, and I can remember we all sat around and watched the royal wedding and stuff like that. And then flash forward, I can remember when I was living with my first boyfriend, well, my first boyfriend when I got sober, and my roommate. She was a diehard Princess Di fan. And I think, you know, for like my generation of men that came out as gay and things like that, Princess Di did so much, right? For AIDS and the gay community and things like that. And she really was an icon in all of that. And so, you know, and I also think that one of the things that I remember, right, was like the disillusion of her marriage and her and like Fergie like hanging out on boats. And it was really like, they were like the first women like in kind of like, I know this is kind of an old-timey term, but like high society, that were really allowed to be kind of free, you know? And they were judged for that. Like, Princess Di was judged for that stuff, right? Like, she wasn't acting like a princess, and she was on a bathing suit in the front of the boat. And I think my mom, like, going through a divorce at that time, felt so liberated by Princess Diana's actions. And then she was still doing all of this charitable work around the world and being a fantastic mother and all this kind of stuff too, right? And so, you know, I mean, at that time, and really at that time, I mean, Camilla was kind of referred to, but she wasn't known. Like, I mean, she was known, but like but that wasn't national news, like that Camilla was in the picture, right? I mean, it was speculated about, but it wasn't like, it was always about Princess Di and what a bad woman she was. That was really the picture that they painted at that time. When she passed away, sadly passed away in the accident, I can remember my roommate was a diehard, like, Princess Di lover, and got up very, very early the morning of the funeral and watched the whole thing on TV and stuff like that. So it's interesting that I'm not more interested in it. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know that much about Meghan Markle. I really don't know that much about the whole thing. I've covered it in a couple videos over here, but I'm just really not that interested in it. You know, so many people have told me to read Princess Harry's book, and I'm just like, I am not that interested. You can't get me to read, like, a world-building book. You're not going to be able to get... A world-building book is like a fantasy book. You're not going to get me to read a fantasy book. You're not... I mean, the last one I think I read was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. You're not going to get me to read Prince Harry's memoir. I could care less about it. So that's what I think about Prince Harry. That was a very long-winded explanation. Where do you stand these days on Nikki tutorials, my good sir? Oh, I answered that one the other day. Somebody said, I feel like you're so transparent. Who is someone on YouTube that you don't talk about that you have an opinion on? Who is somebody on YouTube that I don't talk about that I have an opinion on? Okay, Don't judge a book by its cover. That will be one thing I would say. I don't know who this couple is. You know what? I need to look them up. They're called like the Hughes family or something like that. They're like these two gay dads, and the one dad had the daughter, and then they got married, and I think the other dad adopted them. Gay dads, they like go to Disney World and stuff. When I first saw them, the guy was like friends with Paris Hilton. He was on that show. Let me see if oh, here they are. The Holgate family. Right here, back from our Disney cruise, Pride Month and more. Okay, so the Holgate family, here they are. So when I first saw them, like some video of theirs got recommended to me. This is so random that I'm talking about them. I never in a million years would ever think I would talk about them on a video. I thought they were so cheesy. Like I started watching this video and I was like, what in God's gay hell are this? This is so cheesy to me, right? Like, but I started watching it and I was like immediately hooked. They are such a sweet couple. They are so nice. I mean, they are so wholesome. And like, I think they are such proof, like when people want to talk about, you know, like gay dads or lesbian moms raising kids, like they're such fantastic parents to this girl. And they just like build this home and they go on these trips and they vlog the whole thing. And they've slowly built their channel over time. When they started, because when I started watching them, they were really small. They now have 21,000 subscribers. Their videos actually do really well. 2 days ago, how dads do summer Disney cruise shopping, 8.6 thousand views. 7 days ago, family week vlog, 10,000 views. I mean, they're getting my May week vlog, Cavalier, King Charles problems 3 weeks ago. They don't post videos very often, but they get pretty good views on their videos, you know, like 50 to 60% of their subscribership. I love these guys. I hope that, am I subscribed? I'm not subscribed to them on this channel. I'm subscribed to them on my other channel. So, on YouTube, this is why in the past, because I know somebody will say that. They'll be like, well, you love them, but you're not subscribed to them. Well, here, we'll subscribe to them right now. We're subscribed to them. But, okay, so when I go into YouTube, I have 7 channels. So I'm not subscribed to every channel on every channel. Or I'm not subscribed to every channel I love on every channel. Actually, I went in last night and I unsubscribed to a couple people that I was still subscribed to James Charles. I didn't even realize that. Like a notification, I never look at my notifications on YouTube. And a notification of his, like, I mean, on my, like, the YouTube app came up. And I was like, it was like James Charles posted that music video. See, that's as much as I even know about, like, James Charles. Like, he posted that music video, what, 2 days ago or something like that? I saw the notification last night. I was like, why is this coming up? And because I swore I like unsubscribed to him on those things. So I went in there and there was a couple other people. I started looking in and I was like, oh, I'm still subscribed to this person. Unsubscribe. Oh, I'm subscribed to this person. Unsubscribe. I mean, I'm not going to support problematic people if I'm aware of it. You know, just bring it to my attention. If I follow somebody that I talk about in my videos, I like that's always like a gotcha moment. Like, oh, Peter still follows James Charles on YouTube. If I follow any of the problematic people that I talk about, it's because I'm not aware of it. Bring it to my attention. It's not a gotcha moment. It's a Peter didn't know moment. Okay. So just bring it to my attention. This is where it's like always like that's used against me. It's like, oh, this is such a gotcha moment. Like Peter had this comment by James Charles. That was like something that like all these people DM'd me that people were going crazy about it. I was like, I didn't even know I had the comment DM'd on there. And on my main channel, like I blocked James Charles so he can't leave a comment. Because I was like, this will just settle this, right? And it's always like in comparison to me like calling these people out. Well, okay, with quickness, I got on video and I said I wasn't aware of that. I blocked James Charles. If some of these people that I talk about moved that quickly, then there would be no videos to make because they wouldn't be problematic, right? Part of the reason why they're problematic is because they stay problematic, not because they've showed change and growth. If they've shown change and growth, I am more than willing to get on video and show that all day long. But this Holgate family, H-O-L-G-A-T-E family, if you're into that, like I would highly recommend that. Like they are really a nice couple and I love their videos. They're like, I don't understand the Disney cruise thing. I don't understand wanting to go to Disney World every weekend. That's just not my thing, but they love it. And I love watching them get ready for it and get excited about it and all this kind of stuff. They're just really, really nice guys. And they're such like, and yes, they're a family vlogging channel, but it's more than that. It's not, they're not really like, it's not all centered around the kid. Like that's, I think for me, the one thing where I'm like, okay, this is a family vlogging channel that's like family friendly vlogging channel. It's not all about their daughter. Like it's a lot about them and redoing their house and building their house up and planning this trip and things like that. They're very respectful and considerate of their daughter being in there. And they're just really, really nice guys. I think he was on that show, like the one guy, the one husband, like Paris Hilton's next best friend or something. I think that's because I think when I first started watching it, I was like, he looks so familiar to me. How do I know this guy? So yeah, that's somebody on YouTube that I don't ever talk about. I mean, there's a lot of people that I don't talk about. Somebody asked me on here like about Onision. I don't talk about Onision at all on my channel. I never have. I've never done a dedicated video to Onision. I never will. I take a lot of issue with things that Onision has done in the past. I think Onision has a lot of issues. I hope he's getting help for those issues. And he seems very troubled to me. He's not somebody I would cover over here. So, yeah. Okay, let's see who, somebody else asked me. Okay, let me get to the right page here. Barbra Streisand. I mean, I don't really know much. I mean, I don't follow the life and times of Barbra Streisand. I love her music. I grew up on her music. My mom loved Barbra Streisand. The Way We Were was one of my mom's favorite movies. It was one of my mom's favorite songs. I loved Barbra Streisand back in the day. I don't really know much about her. Yentl, I thought it was a horrible movie. It sucked. I think everybody at our time thought that that movie sucked. Prince of Tides is one of my all-time favorite movies. I thought she was fantastic in it. Yeah, I love Barbra Streisand. I don't know any, to be honest, what's weird is when I was younger, like, I really didn't like a lot. I mean, when I was growing up, like, with my mom, she listened to it. I loved it, right? But, like, when I was, like, in my 20s and stuff, and, like, you know, we would all go over to somebody's, like, house for a party, and it was some gay guy that was, like, 50 years old, and they're playing, like, Barbra Streisand, Liza Minnelli. I mean, these things happened back when I was coming out, right? I just was like, this is so cornball. Like, why are we... Ever since I saw Bradley in Survivor Season 3 say cornball, I can't stop saying it because my mom used to say it all the time. But I was like, this is so cornball. Like, we're at a party. Why are we listening to Barbra Streisand show tunes? You know what I mean? But as I've gotten older, like, what's the one song, like, Will You Be There for the Rest of My Life or something like that? Or, I don't know. I like her music more. But I will tell you, I'm definitely more of, like, the song Enough Is Enough, Donna Summer, one of my all-time favorite songs. The one that she does, who's the one that she sings with the guys? The guy, I can't remember what it is, but I love that song so much. Okay. I actually, back in the day when I thought about doing, like, TikToks, I was going to do a TikTok to that. Oh, somebody asked me about my husband. I love my husband. I love my husband. We've had such a great time down here. You know, I think it's interesting being with 3 other couples because what you realize is that a lot of things, this is why it's important, like I was telling Jesse and Fufu this, my brother and sister-in-law, like it's really important as a couple to have other friends that are couples because I think it normalizes like what you think in your relationship like is like a huge issue. When you're around other couples, what you realize is all couples have those issues, right? And so it kind of minimizes that. Alex and I learned that like a long time ago. What's so funny on this trip is, you know, like, I don't know, it's just like, it's different being around 4 different couples that don't really know each other, and we've all gotten to be really good friends. There's always like private jokes, and it's just been a really good time. And my husband, you know, find yourself a man that you think you'll never end up with because you don't want to be in a relationship, and you go through such shitty, difficult times that the thing you want the most is a divorce, and you can't wait to get out of the marriage. And then 10 years later, you look back on it, and the thing you're the happiest about is that you went through all that shit because your marriage paid off in the end for it. I mean, the shit that we went through, and I mean, we were literally going to get divorced. Alex said, if we do not go to therapy, we're going to get divorced. I was the one that was resistant to therapy. And to look back on that and coming up on 16 years in August and just being like, oh my God, like this marriage is like everything. And I'm so proud to call this man my husband. And I'm, you know, so proud to stand by him as he turns 40 and this exciting monumental moment with him, you know, and we challenge each other, and we cheerlead each other, and we support each other, and we love each other, and yeah. His ass is not that bad to look at as it walks across the room either, even at 40 years old. This is going to stop in a second, hold on. Okay, so there's that too. All right, somebody said Diddy, P. Diddy. Okay, you know, like I know a lot of people, so many people have asked me to reach out. This is where like people reach out to me and I don't want to talk about stuff because I don't know that much about it. So many people have asked me to talk about the P. Diddy scandal. Okay, I was never really a P. Diddy fan to begin with, so I don't really know that much about him. And I definitely don't know that much about, I'm like, is Sean Puffy Combs P. Diddy? Is he the same person? I think he is, right? I don't know that much about it to start making video after video about it. I just don't. I don't know that much about it. So I feel like it would be negligent for me. If somebody wants me to do that, I'll look into it, but it'll take a lot of work. Kenya Moore from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, guilty or not? Okay, so This is so interesting to me, this whole Kenya Moore thing. I go back and forth with Kenya Moore, first of all. Real Housewives of Atlanta is my favorite franchise of the Real Housewives. They have just effed themselves with this cast and firing people and who they kept and why they kept Drew Sidora and got rid of Marlo and Sheree. I will never understand. She must have some big storyline this season because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. But Kenya Moore, like, one season I'll love her, the next season I won't. One season I'll love her. You think I get, like, passionate about influencers? I mean, that's nothing in comparison to how I feel about these housewives. I mean, you talk about watching, 10 to 16 seasons of somebody. I mean, you're really that invested. But I really do love Kenya Moore. I think she's gorgeous. I think she is super, super smart, right? I think the thing is about Kenya Moore, and I know, like, my friend Tanya and I, if she was sitting here, she'd be shaking her head. Like, it's like, my friend Tanya and I, you want to talk about heated, passionate conversations, because she is a diehard Kenya Moore fan. I was a diehard Marlo Hampton fan until they fired her off of Real Housewives, or as Dorinda Medley would call it, put her on pause. Oh my God, did I tell you guys that my husband, I got him a cameo from Dominique Jackson from Pose. She played Electra. Oh my God, we sat here the other night. He loved it. So, I never bought anybody a cameo before. So I was like, I'm going to buy my husband a cameo. And then hers showed up. And I was like, oh, this is so perfect because Alex loves Electra from the show Pose. But anyway, so here's the thing. Okay, Kenya has, like, she can dish it out, but she can't take it. The tripod fell. But okay, so with Kenya Moore, the thing is that Kenya Moore can, like, dish it, but she can't take it. Like, for years I've said this. Like, she can pick at somebody. Like, she used to do this with Marlo Hampton, right? Pick and pick and pick and pick. And you would just see Marlo trying so hard not to open her mouth because you knew as soon as Marlo opened her mouth, she was going to say some shady boots down stuff, right? And so Marlo would say something. And then Kenya would take it deep. She would go real deep, right? Like, about Marlo's arrest record back in the day or all this kind of stuff, being a prostitute and all this kind of, I mean, they would always do that with Marlo, right? But Kenya does that with everybody. But this is the thing. So if y'all don't know, Kenya has some allegations that she, basically, not revenge porn, but kind of similar to that, like pictures of somebody, right? And so it was apparently caught on tape during production, and now they have suspended Kenya Moore indefinitely off the show. What's so surprising to me about this is that Kenya Moore is very, very smart. She's brilliant. I mean, she is a very smart woman and a very smart businesswoman. It happened at her business. So now she's brought in her business into that. Her business could be sued. She apparently showed these pictures of this castmate that she doesn't like, this new castmate. And, so her business could be sued. She's been suspended off of Atlanta. For me, what's so interesting about it is it's just not consistent with who Kenya Moore is. Like, Kenya Moore has done nasty things in the past. But I don't feel like she would do anything to jeopardize her livelihood, taking care of her daughter, her business, her spot on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think that she would do that. So it's pending this investigation. It looks like she did it, but I don't know, it surprises me. It surprises me. It doesn't seem like something that Kenya Moore would, it seems like something that Kenya Moore would do, but if she thought through it, she wouldn't do it because it would jeopardize her business, her spot on Atlanta, all this kind of stuff. She seems smarter to me than that, but maybe she wasn't. Maybe she's gotten too big. Maybe her ego and her pride has gotten too big and she's thought, you know what, I can get away with anything. I don't know, maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. Meghan Markle, already addressed all that kind of stuff. Okay, somebody said Nick Avocado, talked about him in the last one. Jason Nash. I don't really think much about Jason Nash. Okay, I'm just going to start on these people, just give you my gut response to me. It makes me sad that Jason Nash, who, like, I went to a friend's 50th birthday party, and they had a big thing, and it had, like, famous things that had happened. It said famous people that turned 50 this year, and Jason Nash. It said Jason Nash, comedian. And I thought, okay, so Jason Nash is on this banner that you can buy at Party City, right? Known as a comedian. And he's on TikTok. That happened before. This all came out about the TikTok stuff. But now you're on TikTok and you're doing all these lives begging for money. It makes me sad for him if you want to know the truth, okay? It makes me very, very sad for him that you're that creative and you're that funny, but you can't think of anything else to do. And at some point, people are going to stop tipping and the money's going to run out, right? It makes me kind of sad that you feel like you've run out of all these ideas because you were riding the coattails of David Dobrik for so many years. And I think what you've proved to everybody is that, and David Dobrik's not even that great of a guy. I think we know that, right? But like without David Dobrik, who's Jason Nash, I think you just proved that to us. Without David Dobrik or without all those people around you doing collabs with you, Jason Nash is the guy that's begging for money on TikTok. And that's sad. That's sad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out that way. Oh, no, ma'am. That's why I'm writing 2 books this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if those cozy mysteries sell for 25 cents at the junkyard, okay? Listen, I am not be begging for no money up there, okay, on the TikTok, trying to, like, you know, he's up there saying, people are interviewing him. He's like, I've got college to pay for my kids and stuff. It's like, girl, no. Like, this is sad. You are 10 times more creative than this. You know, I love the saying that when you reach the top of the mountain, you know, find a bigger mountain to climb. Like, what's your bigger mountain now? What's your next big project? Find somebody else that you don't know on YouTube. I'd love for somebody from a different community that I have never met before and don't know anything about to, like, collab with that. Not collab, like, sit down and do a video, but do, like, a project. I don't think I'll ever probably... I mean, if it was a friend or somebody I knew, I would sit down and do, like, a collab. Like, well, with, like, my friends and family on my channel, but I'm talking about an influencer. I will probably never sit down and do, like, just a Q&A. People ask me all the time. I will tell you, people ask me all the time, would you fly here and do, like, a Q&A collab with me? I won't do that again. Not because, I went through that period, I felt like I needed to do it, I did it, and I'm glad I did, right? I probably would never do that again unless it was some kind of project, or we were doing, like, a charitable donation, or there was a purpose behind it. I wouldn't just do it to do it. So yeah, okay. Sutton Strack from name them. Because that's on the thing I said, ask me who you want me to talk about, name them. Okay, somebody asked me about J-Lo. I don't even know that I understand everything that's going on with all that kind of stuff. Okay, I talked about Stephanie Harlow. Honest opinions maybe on Jenna Marbles. Love your videos. I love Jenna Marbles. Jenna Marbles is one of the reasons why I'm sitting here today, and definitely not anywhere near anywhere in even the same room as talented as that woman has in her pinky finger. Jenna Marbles is so talented and was the first person that in her videos back in the day, if you go back and watch them, like her princess, Disney princess videos and her dogs and stuff like that were absolutely 100% hilarious. And they were like 4 to 6 minutes long. They were very, very short. You know, I think for me, I saw a turning point when people were trying to come for her over the whole Fishgate thing that happened with her having the wrong, like, tank for the fish. And she did this, like, this hour. I mean, I'm talking, this is at the, like, the height of Dramageddon, right? Like, or right after all that stuff had happened. And she comes out with, like, this hour-long apology video about how she didn't house her animals right. And I, like, so got it. Because I'm that person that feels like I need to over and over and over and over explain things. You know, what did I see? I posted this thing. I love this new saying. I just posted this on my Instagram last night. Hold on a second. Oh, little squirrels and things like that. What was the one that, well, one of the things I said, oh, this was for my weight loss journey. In 6 months, you will either have 6 months of excuses or 6 months of progress. The choice is yours. I love that so much. Today, I'm grateful for all the people that are loving and kind to me. I appreciate all you guys. Like, seriously, you have no idea. But then I post this thing. Learn to be okay with people not knowing your side of the story. You have nothing to prove to anyone. And yes, and that could also be used to other people out there that are problematic. If they want to stand behind that, they can stand behind that. I think that's a fair statement. With Jenna Marbles, I don't feel like she needed to go into an hour explanation, but what's so sad about it is, I think at that time, what she thought was, we're turning into a world of needing to constantly share or prove our sides of the story, and I'm not going to be part of that, is what she said, right? Because Dramageddon had happened, it was this takedown mentality. She felt the need to get in a video over a fish, okay? And listen, that might have been one of the greatest examples of how to address something and not need to do it, right? I miss Jenna Marbles. I hope that she's living the best life possible. I think that woman probably saved all the money that she needed to save. I don't think she's going to make... I thought for some time she probably would make some great return to YouTube. I think she might do a video here and there with Julian through the years, but I think she's done. I think YouTube's done for her. I don't think she wants anything to do with the fame, the spotlight. I think that's always who Jenna Marbles was, you know? I don't think she was that. I think that's what was so endearing about her. She never wanted any of it. She loved doing it like I love doing it, but she didn't want to be the huge fandom. I mean, she loved it. But she's a good example of, like, Colleen abused that. Jenna Marbles loved it. There's a difference, right? And I think when she saw the ugliness of what it was turning into, she wanted no part of it anymore. And I respect that. I do. I respect somebody, like, you know, Schitt's Creek. They knew it was good. They left and closed down shop before it got bad. And I think that's what Jenna Marbles said. I'm leaving while it's still good. I'm leaving. I want to have good memories of this. I respect her for that, you know? I love Jenna Marbles. I love, love, love Jenna Marbles. I mean, back in the day when I was watching YouTube the very first couple years, you know, her videos, like, made me laugh and made me think about things. And, you know, people ask me a lot about my vegetarianism. August will be 6 years I've been a vegetarian. when I first started it, I just kind of started it because I'd seen this PETA propaganda video. It's like you can remove, you know, or greatly reduce your carbon imprint if you just do it for 30 days. I've talked about it enough, about my vegetarian journey. But something Jenna Marbles said in a video about why she was a vegetarian, like, or vegan or whatever she is, always hit close to me. As she said, I look at my dogs and I know that I couldn't eat my dogs. That translates into that animals have souls. Animals have thoughts. Animals think this way. I have morphed into, I am now that person. Like, I get what she was saying in that moment. At that moment, I got what she was saying too. I couldn't eat my dog, but it's translated into like across the board, fish, animals, all kinds of things. And it's made me really feel like more a part of this earth and what I'm contributing and putting out there and things like that. And I get what she says. And so she's a huge part of why I am still a vegetarian to this day. Okay, let's get back into a few more of these questions. Who is texting me? Oh, my husband's texting me. Okay. Let's get into just a few more of these questions. Hold on just a second. Okay. Andy Cohen. I love Andy Cohen. My husband and I both love Andy Cohen. We both think he's hot as shit. I mean, I think the man is gorgeous. I mean, we jokingly don't have a hall pass, but we jokingly always said, I mean, we don't have a hall pass, but we always jokingly said that Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, I think is super hot too. Daniel Craig is my all-time biggest, you know, I think he is so good looking. All these scandals and stuff, it doesn't surprise me, really, in all honesty. I mean, the Housewives have been problematic for years and years and years. Andy Cohen is not a stupid man. He did not get to where he got by being stupid. I mean, he's going to stand his ground. He knows what's true and what's not true. Andy Cohen's not the kind of man that's going to come out and say there's no truth to this if there's no truth to this. Like, if there's something to prove, Andy Cohen's he won't say anything. I'm sure the man has a team of 30 attorneys around him that are probably the best attorneys in the world. So if he comes out and says, like, I'm not going to address this because there's probably no accuracy to it. And we'll see what happens. I know Leah McSweeney, they, like, threw that court case out. Now she's suing him again for how he acted in that case. I don't know, you know. I will say one thing I take an issue with the Housewives, and I said this, and then after I said it, it became like a huge issue, is that they really, really push drinking on the Housewives, right? And there's now a lot of sober Housewives. Not a lot, but I would say like one in each franchise, right? And the thing is that, and this is kind of my issue a little bit, like, Leah McSweeney, I respect her for being I think that's who her last name is. I respect her for being a sober person and things like that. But, like, you know, she came out when I was watching Ultimate Girls Trip and stuff like that, and she constantly talked about her sobriety, but then she'd say, she would make jokes and be like, can't you all get drunk or something like that. Like, that's not something I would ever say to my friends. Like, I might make a joke about that, like, in a video, but, like, to my friends, like, if I was wanting them to take my sobriety seriously, I would never joke. Like, you get what you put out there, right? And so, like, if I wanted them to respect my sobriety, I wouldn't make light of my sobriety in that way, right? And I don't know, it's just like, I also think, like, you make choices. And as a sober person, you know, it's different for me, I think, maybe because I've been sober for a very long period of time. I can be in environments where there's a lot of drinking. It doesn't feel like it affects me. If it does feel like it's affecting me, I have the choice to leave, right? I have the choice to go. Nobody's forcing you to be on the Housewives while you're around a lot of alcohol. I think the alcohol has gotten out of control. They are constantly drinking on the Housewives. It's constant, right? And I think from the drinking, a lot has happened. If you watch Vanderpump Rules in the confessionals, they didn't have drinks this last year, and that was, like, deliberate. I read an article about it. I think Bravo is taking a new stance on drinking. I think all this stuff that's come out is going to force them to take a new stance on drinking and their attitude towards drinking on the Housewives. And that, I think, is a good thing, because I think it's a lot. But I don't know enough about Andy Cohen and all that kind of stuff. Let's go on. Chris from Shane's podcast. The videographer, I think Chris seems very, very nice. He seems like a really sweet guy to me. I think he's probably, like, I think Andrew was a lot of the creative genius behind Shane Dawson, or that they together worked, like, as a creative genius together. Like, I think they bounced ideas off each other very, very well. I don't get that vibe from Chris, but I think Chris is a very, very nice guy. I've watched his videos. He has his own channel now. I watched his videos. I love his videos. He seems like a very nice guy. He's not Andrew. The thing is, it's a new era of Shane Dawson. I think if Shane had kind of, like, introduced it this way, like, it's a new era. Like, don't compare him to Andrew because it's not going to be Andrew. Then I think people would have been a little bit more accepting of Chris. Because it's definitely not the, like, what, I don't even remember what they called themselves back in the day, but like Morgan and Ryland, Shane, Andrew and Garrett, like going to a haunted place. Those days are over, right? It's a new era of Shane Dawson. And that's fine. That's totally fine, right? Chris seems like a really, really nice guy to me. And he really seems to be very protective and care about, you know, Shane a lot. So, Shane's brother. I think the same thing about Shane's brother. You put, like, they put these little eyes that are looking to the side. Is there something? I don't know anything wrong about Shane's brother. So I don't watch the podcast. Unless somebody says I need to watch it for a drama video, I do not watch the podcast. If there's something wrong with Shane's brother, I don't know it. He seems like a very, very nice guy on the show. I think the podcast, although Shane still makes, like when I have watched it, some inappropriate jokes and things like that, and I don't necessarily like him kind of like some of his sexual references towards Chris and things like that, the podcast, again, like with Trisha Paytas, I think it was a fantastic move for Shane. I think it was smart for him at that time. They seem very comfortable on there. I don't have any issues with his brother. I don't have any issues with the podcast. I think at times they've made inappropriate jokes, but other than that, no, I don't take any issue with it. I wish Shane all the best with the podcast. I really do. Okay, Ethan and Ela Klein. I think I talked about Ethan in my last video. Ela Klein, I don't really have many thoughts about. I will tell you, in the past, I ordered a lot of Teddy Fresh stuff. It's very, very high quality streetwear, I'll tell you that, just to give you a little review. I don't think I've ever done a review of it. Maybe I have, I don't know. It's very high quality. The stuff is fantastic, and it stands the test of time. Like, it really stands up. I've given the majority of it to my friend Tanya, because she likes clothes very, very baggy, and it's very bright, and it's really cute. You guys, like, the attention to detail of the Teddy Fresh line is, like, unbelievable. I mean, it's like there's a little flower pendant here that you can take off and put somewhere else. The tags, the way it comes. I mean, the attention to detail by Teddy Fresh is unbelievable, right? But like, I got a Jerry Garcia sweatshirt. It's gorgeous. But all of it now, since I've lost weight, none of it fits me. Not one thing. Not the shorts, none of it. I've given it all to my friend Tanya Jean, because she loves stuff bigger. And she loves it. And it looks adorable on her. The terry cloth shirts, I have a pink and white one and a yellow white one that I gave to her, and they have little flowers on it. I mean, they're adorable. That Teddy Fresh brand, I know it's expensive, but if you've looked at it and thought about buying it, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. But I will say this, it's streetwear, so it's larger, right? Like, if you get a shirt that fits you, it's gonna be long, and it's gonna be long sleeves, and I mean, it's streetwear. And that's not necessarily my vibe. So yeah, so I gave it all to Tanya. Somebody said, Shannon Rose. Well, so Shannon Rose is the person, she's the only person that's ever asked me to stop making videos about her, and I did, and I respect that. And I really kind of stopped watching Shannon Rose at that time. I really didn't watch her that deeply at that time anyway. I just kind of watched her to cover drama, and I don't know what's going on with her now. I haven't kept up with her, and I hope she's doing well. Shannon, I hope that you're doing well. I wish you all the best. Thumbelina the Squirrel, I love Thumbelina so much. The Census Lady, we need a throwback. God, I kind of wish the Census, well, first of all, the reason why I think the video is so funny, I didn't really think it was that funny. I mean, I knew people would think it was funny, but I didn't really think it was that funny. I think the reason why that story, I mean, this is why some stories are like universal. I think the reason why so many people have attached, if you guys don't know, I did a couple videos in the back in the day about the census lady calling me on the phone, stopping by our house and things like that to take the U.S. Census lady. The reason why I think it was so funny was because it was 100% true. There's no lies in that video, those videos. That's the truth. That was the conversation we had, how she spoke to me. I mean, that's the truth. That's how it all went. Like, you know, like her not letting her parking where she parks so my husband couldn't get out or in, I can't remember now, but her calling me up and saying, now leave us a little time for conversation. I mean, that all happened. That was exactly how it happened. Her crying and getting upset. And I mean, it was 100% real, you know? And so I don't think she'll ever come back. If another census person comes back, then, or comes around, then I will let you know. How old were you when you got your bachelor's and your master's? Oh God, I don't know the exact ages. I think it was 98 or 99 that I got my master's degree. I've shown it in my master's degree. People say I don't have a master's degree in social work. I have a master's degree in social work from Indiana University. You can call them into your research. So yeah, I think I graduated in 98 or 99, which means I would have been 27 or 28. I feel like I was a little bit older than that, though. I feel like I was 29, but maybe not. 27 or 28. I got my bachelor's degree. I got sober when I was 22 and a half. Turned 23 that summer. Went back to school. 24? I think I was 24 when I got my bachelor's degree. Maybe. Would you read a Sarah J. Maas series? Mine is Throne of Glass. The only reason I'm answering all these questions for this one person is because they have watched my videos for years. So, hey, how you doing, girl? I would not watch a Sarah J. Maas, or read a Sarah J. Maas book. I'm not, like I said, fantasy world building is not my thing. She's huge on BookTube. My neighbor is reading all of her books. She absolutely loves her. We talk about her at the pool and stuff like that. I have no interest in it. Okay, talked about Mama Tot. Oh my God, does anyone tell Alex he looks like Mauricio Umansky, Kyle Richards' husband, that they're separated right now? He looks exactly like him. Alex gets it all the time. And the joke down here is that everybody's like, who does so-and-so look like? And my brother-in-law, Fufu, which his name's Juan Carlos, Juan's like, yeah. I'm like, who tells you, who people tell you that you look like? And he's like, they tell me I look like the Latino Brad Pitt. He looks nothing like Brad Pitt. I mean, my brother-in-law is good looking, but he looks nothing like Brad Pitt. And I just started laughing. I was like, who told you that? And so his wife was sitting, Jessie, my sister-in-law, was sitting right next to him. And she's like, looking, they're laying down in the lounge chair. And she's looking at him. And he goes, Ashley told me. And I go, who's Ashley? And he goes, Ashley. And then he starts naming all these people, right? And I look at Jessie's just laughing. And I go, who are these people? She goes, he's making all their names up. He says, she's like, these aren't real people. And he goes, they're real people to somebody. He goes, you don't know that they didn't call me the Latino Brad Pitt. Oh my God. Okay. Nikita Dragon. Where is she these days? Is she doing well? I wish her all the best. She's kind of like fell off the face of the earth. I don't know anything about her. The Karen Reed trial, I think Emily Baker is covering that right now, although she just went to Dave Matthews. I think, if I'm right, I don't know who Karen Reed is, but if it's the trial that Emily Baker is covering, my book club partner Mel was just telling me all about it before I left. I talked to her for a long time, and she was telling me that she's like watching every live stream with Emily Baker over it. If that's not who it is, then I have no idea who it is. Katie Maloney. I like Katie Maloney from Vanderpump Rules, and I know a lot of people don't. I think Katie Maloney can, yes, be a little nasty from time to time, but she has taken so much crap through the years, and people are like so hard on her and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know, when she came out with her story a couple years ago about how she fell through the roof and like how she overcame that and whatever, it made me look at Katie Maloney in a completely different way. You know, I don't know. I love how real she is. And it's like when Lala was trying to call her out on the Vanderpump Rules reunion for talking shit about Ariana behind the scenes, Katie's like, we had that conversation. I talked to Ariana about that. Ariana's like, yeah, Katie brought that to me. And Lala's trying to call her out. And this is what this is one of my things, like instantly if I see this happen, you're out of my life, right? When you want to call a close friend out for some shit that they said to you behind the scenes and they've already done the right thing, like that's some shit to me. Katie's very, very real, and I don't think those people in Vanderpump Rules can handle it. That's what I think. But I do agree with Lala Kent that they signed up for that show and they need to show what's really going on. I 100% agree with her on that one. Ariana Madix, I love Ariana Madix. I will say a little bit, like, I don't think she has any kind of God complex. If you watch Vanderpump Rules this last season, she hardly ever brings up Tom Sandoval. Ever. They all bring up Tom Sandoval and she responds to it or doesn't respond to it. She hardly ever brings up Tom Sandoval. She talks about her life. It's only ever when she's asked about it does she respond to it. I don't think she has like a God complex like they all like to act like she does. I think she's gotten a lot of great things because she was cheated on. Good for her. Why have we started hating on people that have been betrayed, lied to, put down, shit on, and then they get some good things out of it, and then that person's the bad person? Can somebody please explain that to me? No, let's lift her up, okay? She had a horrific thing happen to her. Do I think we need 3 seasons of it on Vanderpump Rules? No, I think it's healthy for her to move on and move through it and live through it, and she said that. She acknowledged that. She said, I don't want to talk about this a year from now. I want to have moved through this. And she looked at Tom Sandoval and she said, and I don't want you in my life. I don't want to think about you. And she has that right. She has that right to do that, you know? I did love when she was talking to Brock, and Brock said something about when you do this. And she said, no, when a woman stands up for herself, they're aggressive. When a woman is too loud, she's aggressive. When a man does it, something else. That is 100% true, that double standard, you know? So I think that was really... Kyle Richards, love Kyle Richards. Rylan Adams, I have no issues with Rylan Adams. I really don't. He was a very nice guy. He's smarter than he comes across on video. I will say that. He and Shane are so smart. Like, I mean, none of these people get to where they get without being smart. Like, they're smart. Do I think they think through every choice that they make? No. I think that's where the arrogance, ego, and cockiness comes in, and the pride a little bit. But they're very smart people. Yeah. I think Rylan Adams will be a fantastic father. I will say that. I think he'll be a fantastic father. Demi Lovato, well, I've shared this story before, but I almost became the assistant to Demi Lovato. Have I shared that before in a video? So a friend of ours did all of the hair and makeup for Britney Spears for 3 world tours, and her dancers, mostly her dancers. And so she like knew, so everybody that works like behind the scenes in music, like all the teams, like the dancers, like they all know each other. Like Gaga dancers have danced with Britney Spears and vice versa. She explained this whole thing to me. So she reached out to me and she said, Demi Lovato wants a gay man, so somebody that she can like be herself with, that's like could be like a father figure type that's also sober, because this was when she was sober at the time, or I don't know how she defines her sobriety now. So anyway, and so our friend said, this is the friend that got us to dance on stage with Britney Spears. She said, I threw your name out because her people called me and said, do you know anybody? It's just middle America, sober, this person. She said, I actually do know somebody that would be great for this. He's been sober for like 20 years. I think I was 20 years sober at the time, something like that. And so she reached out to me, and like she said, they're gonna call you, but if they call you, it means you have to like move tomorrow. The call never came, but apparently they shopped my name around a little bit behind the scenes, is what I was told. I don't know. I never talked to Demi Lovato. I never talked to her people or anything about it. I think like somebody reached out to me, and I reached back out to them, and then they said that they decided, like through an email, and they said that they decided to go with somebody else or something like that. I can't remember how it happened, but in retrospect, I will tell you, because my friend said, it will not be 40 hours a week, it will be 150 hours a week. You'll be on all this time, and you guys will have to move to LA immediately, like tomorrow. And I'm so glad that that didn't happen in retrospect. I don't think that that was the life that I was meant to have. Cher. I love Cher. I mean, come on. I love Cher. Do you believe in life after love? Chris Olsen. Okay, Chris Olsen is so interesting to me. So Alex and I started watching Chris Olsen and Ian Paget, his boyfriend at the time, during the lockdown, which is when he got famous. And Ian Paget, I think he's probably 24, 25 now. He's like Meghan Trainor's best friend. But he got famous first on TikTok. He and his boyfriend at the time, Ian Paget. And Chris is sober. And so Alex showed it to me and was like, he's sober, I think you'll like this guy. And so I started watching him. They did like a video on YouTube talking about his like intervention, all this kind of stuff. Chris seems like such a nice guy to me. Like he really does. The only issue I have is that a couple of years, I mean, he's like red carpet. I think he's kind of like, it's all kind of like gone to his head a little bit. But and also like, let's just be human. Whose head would it didn't go to, right? Like if you're just like 23 and you're like living your best life, and the next second you're like walking a runway fashion show. Like he walks some fashion show in Paris and he goes red carpet events all the time. Good for him. I think that's great that he turned nothing into something, right? Like that's amazing. Who wouldn't be taken with that? Like we want to fault people for that, but who wouldn't be taken with that, right? But he went on this trip to Australia and he played it very much off as this was sent to me, and I looked into it because I think at that point I'd stopped following him. He followed somebody that I could no longer support, and so I was like, I'm just kind of done with this at this point. I can't remember who it was. I don't follow his ex either, Ian Paget, who I thought was a really nice guy. Oh, no, I know why I stopped following him. I stopped following like almost all influencers. That was like after the accident. So somebody sent me this thing about, he did a trip to Australia that was paid by the Australian Tourism Board, but he and the other influencers never disclosed it and act like it was just like this trip they put together. That's a huge issue. It was like actually a huge issue. And Chris Olsen was like one of the people that did that. And it's so weird because he discloses appropriately in like all of his TikToks and videos. I mean, I've watched him for years. I would have called him out years ago if he hadn't. He seems like a really nice guy though. I like Chris Olsen. And congratulations, Chris, if he's never gonna watch this, but if you did, like congratulations on your sobriety. Family. So many people sent me messages, and so many YouTubers watch this video. A couple people, Zachary Michael sent me all of his favorite Chappell Roan songs, and I just want to say thank you guys so much because I'm going to check her out here. Okay, anybody else? I think I've gotten them. Amber Lynn Reed, I have no idea what's going on with her today. Wish her all the best. She's still doing torrid hauls. Okay, girl. Does your apartment still smell like day old stew? Bretman Rock. Bretman Rock, somebody just sent me a thing the other day that he did a hair sponsorship and didn't disclose it, but that's all I know about Bretman Rock. I think like 3 people sent that to me. That's the only thing I know about Bretman Rock. I have not kept up with him for years. I always thought he seemed like the nicest guy in the beauty influencer space. So, oh, that was the last one. Want to know what I think about someone, anyone? Doing a video about my opinions. Name them. That was the last one. Okay, so I'm going to go down there and join everybody. Let me know what you think about these people. If you have any other people you'd like me to do a video on and comment, put it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.